Aquarius.
Hello Aquarius, happy birthday. This is your forecast for February 2014. And you're radiant right now. You're beaming and shining, and all this energy is coming out of your first house. And it's a great time of the year to actually move forward on those things that you were contemplating in January. And I see a lot of you had a lot of thoughts where you were sifting and filtering through, should I do this, should I do that, should I weed this out and keep this? So January was a think tank for you. And but now it's more like with the boost of the new moon here, which we don't have a new moon in February. We only have a full moon. So January gave us 2 new moons and a full moon, which isn't always that often we do see. We're going to have that happening in March as well. And this is shunting the whole moon cycle, because for a long, long time now, we've always had a new moon early in the month and then the full moon later on. But as these cycles are shifting, we're going to see the full moon come in first, the new moon later in the month. That's setting things up for the following. So yes, we're all emotionally also feeling somewhat this on very subtle levels, but it's also shifting us on a timeline though. But yes, if you're listening early enough, put in your intentions here on the 30th, and it would be in the area of your own personality, what's important to you, how you want to present yourself to the world. Bring those things, attract those things into your life that now becomes important, that you want to carry with you for the rest of the year till your birthday next year. So I hope you don't miss that. But the moon will follow here around the sun early enough here around the 1st, so it's still effective and it's still in this area of your personality. Now, what also is changing for us, and we're feeling these shifts, and this is Venus now coming back alive. It has been retrograde from December 21st till January 31st and been cruising in your 12th house for 2 months now. And the 12th house is your subconsciousness. It's also the house of karma. It's those things that are a little bit hidden or held back and not as out in the open in public. And it's been there with Pluto too. It's been retrograding, so it's been touching upon Pluto a couple of times here, and that to me tells me that you've been working on some very deep issues, maybe very private issues as well. And Venus ruling money and also ruling love. Well, these 2 elements seems to have been on the agenda, all right? And the sun was in there last year, and the moon was in there, and so it was all like this emotional situation for you. And normally you like to be in control of your feelings, Aquarius. So January might have put everything on the map, especially because we had Mars, Uranus, and Pluto acting together here just around New Year's. So a lot of whatever took place for you there might have needed a little tweaking and working throughout January, and that's where Venus retrograde was helping you to level that out and balance it. So you should be back on board, feeling rather resolved right now. And Venus slowly but surely will be making its way through the 12th and come in to your 1st house. This is going to be a joyous time, but more on that later. Now, financially this month also, I'm seeing that there could be new talks, new insights, or a bit of news of maybe an increase that can come in, or maybe it will just be you contemplating how you can attract a little bit more of a streamline financially. Mercury, however, we are in a retrograde month. So until the 6th, you have it on the direct, and it just touching inside here of your 2nd house before it turns to go back into the 1st house. Now the 1st house is where it has been working. And so that said, it's all going to be around that whole same issue of where you're at and what you want, and weeding a little bit. And I'd like to say career, before we go on, is something now that's been on your mind for a while. Saturn's up there. All of 2013 pretty much was you focusing on how to get ahead and how to climb, and your ambitions are turned up. Saturn has been giving you a lot of new responsibility this last year, so you're there and you are living it, and you're also working it to the point of mastery. And you're feeling that you are, in fact, and what you're going to be receiving now is more so that others are seeing it as well. Now is the time that you'll start hearing the good feedback. You might have a review coming up. In this sense, I see that the review should be good, especially when we come to the end of the month, which will be on the 25th. So anything scheduled around that time should be excellent for you. And it will be here between your 10th house and the 12th house. So that is those goals, wishes, dreams, visualization, the psychic connected energy that you've been putting forward will now shine and filter through. We have the full moon. Let's talk about it, because this month the full moon will land on Valentine's Day. That is February 14th. Up till the 14th, the month is relatively quiet. Not the big ups and downs, not the big drama. There was enough of that late December coming in through January, so you're going to be able to rest up a little bit here first half of the month. But then comes Valentine's Day, and for you it should be prove very romantic, Aquarius, because your full moon is landing in the 7th house of committed long-term relationships, and it is in the sign of Leo. So it's going to be big, and it's going to be generous, and it's going to be playful. Leo rules the inner child within, right? And there's a lot of pride in that Leo energy. So your partner might be doing something extra special for you this year, or it could be you doing something very special for him or her. So whatever that is, you're going to be loving it. And already the next day on the 15th, well, it looks like you're extra radiant, and both of you are now focused on some goal that you mutually can be working towards. It's putting you on the map. It seems like there might be some resolve on direction, and maybe some of you have made plans on Valentine's Day to later, at some point between now and summer, to do a journey together, to travel together, maybe even out of country. And so I see like long-term goals coming from this Valentine's Day. So how can that be a bad thing? That is just going to be extra special this year. Every Valentine's Day is, but not always will you get that right here for you. Now, not the full moon, that is. So we have Jupiter. Jupiter is still retrograde, and it will be to April the 8th. Jupiter in your house for streamlining day-to-day things and how you work and interact with coworkers. If you are an employer, you might be looking a little extra at how to balance your employees. These things are important, and Jupiter is giving you a lot of time here, 5 months in all, to see how you can perfect this area. And you'll know exactly what I mean when we get to the May forecast. Even in the April forecast, when it starts picking up speed, but these planets take a little time to start moving forward after they've been backwards. So it will especially be very visible to you here when we get to May. But meanwhile, it is all about looking at those important issues of your daily life, your health, how you work out, your diets. When Jupiter is in this area, we can very easily put on weight because Jupiter is so big, so we kind of expand our waistline when we have this visit. And it's a prolonged visit because of the 5-month retrograde, getting more out of it. But you're going to be working here now until June, July. Then it's going to be moving into your committed house of relationships, long-term, and marriage. And those you work with on a one-to-one basis. So everything you're doing now, between now and then, is all about putting down those groundstones, okay? Working towards it, just so you know where you're heading in this relationship. And especially those agreements that you had here on the 14th. Still somewhat a little up and down, unexpected situations coming in as far as communication. You might also see technology kind of do a little work on you every once in a while, especially under this retrograde of Mercury, because you have Uranus in your third house for communication, which Mercury rules. And so you might just have a little extra, maybe problems with your computers. Definitely don't want to buy anything of electrical equipment, technical equipment this month. Hold off to March, but when something goes down, sometimes we gotta renew it. And then we renew it under a retrograde, so that will have to be renewed again later on. So one way of doing that is, well, if you have to go out get a new computer, well, you normally have like a 30-day situation where you can turn it back in. So once Mercury's moving direct again, you can do that. If it goes to show that there was a little lemon in there, right? On the 16th of February, there might be an important communication coming in. It could be some good news also, and this is going to be in the area here of your second house of income. So it could be something about money here this day that you want to pay attention to. On the 18th, we have the sun moving into Pisces. This is also into your financial sector. So you'll see that from this day onwards and through March there's going to be a lot on the table as far as trying to streamline your financial outlook, and how maybe you can start thinking in creative ways. Pisces is always very creative. You might pay attention to your dreams or your daydreams, write down the journal, because it looks like there might be a brainstorming period that will come in that will give you a few of these epiphanies. And then we have on the 19th, well, there is perhaps somebody having a talk with you on a direction that you're not quite too sure of. It's like somebody at work, or maybe your supervisor may want you to do a specific thing, or maybe invite you to go in a direction, but you're kind of like not quite there. Mercury rules your mind and your thought processing, and Saturn has these rings, so you're not quite on board right away, but it looks like it could be something to at least contemplate. You might feel that you have enough burdens or enough responsibility as is at work right now to take on anything new, but don't say no right away. It looks like you're going to need to think about it till the 25th. Now, on the 25th, you can come across with a feeling of conviction, whether you can do this or not. Venus is in a very good position here to Saturn on this day, so you might just feel suddenly that either your energy has shifted, or you might see that this can behoove you, even though you're feeling maybe a little tired, maybe a little overworked right now, and that where this might have been a little too much for you, that you're looking down the road that you're not always going to have as much to do as you are right now, where you're feeling that pressure, because that's going to pass. And then if you say yes to this opportunity, then it will be easier down the road when some of that other weight has lifted. So it might just behoove you financially too to look into it. So don't be too hasty to say no. So this is what we have for you, Aquarius. I wish you a very happy birthday here this month, and a very happy new year as well. So go listen to your moon and your rising signs just to get a little bit more insight where else in the chart these planets are going to be falling and touching upon you. And so I'll see you next month now.